All right, ready to dive into the world of cephalosporins.
Let's do it.
These antibiotics, they're kind of a big deal.
Absolutely. They are essential for treating bacterial infections.
And what's really fascinating about them? It's like they've leveled up over time.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about different generations of cephalosporins, each one more powerful, more specialized than the last.
Like they evolve right alongside the bacteria they're fighting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of evolving, we've got to start with the OGs, the first generation,
Ah, yes.
the pioneers.
These are like the superheroes that took on those classic villains, the staph and strep infections.
Yeah. And they're still incredibly effective. Think about cefazolin.
Cefazolin.
It's often given before surgery.
Oh, to prevent infections, right?
Exactly. Like a preemptive strike.
Yeah.
Setting up that defensive shield right from the start.
Smart.
Then there's cephalexin, probably one of the most prescribed antibiotics out there.
Oh, yeah, I think I've taken that one before.
You probably have. It's a common one. So if these first-generation cephalosporins are so effective,
Yeah.
why the need for more?
Well, think about it like this. In any battle, the enemy adapts, right?
Right.
And that's what happened here. The first generation, they have a bit of a weakness.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
not that great against gram-negative bacteria.
So the bacteria fought back.
Exactly. And that's where the second generation comes in, ready to take on those new challenges.
Awesome. So it's like they leveled up to fight on a new front.
Precisely. Think about those common infections like respiratory infections, sinusitis.
Oh, or ear infections.
Yes, those are often caused by gram-negative bacteria.
Ugh, those are the worst.
And this is where second-generation cephalosporins really shine.
Okay.
Cefuroxime, Cefaclor.
I've heard of those.
They're the go-to for those types of infections. Especially effective against Haemophilus influenza.
Haemophilus influenza, that's a mouthful.
It is, but it's a very common culprit for respiratory infections.
Wow, so we've gone from broad defenses to more targeted attacks.
That's a great way to put it.
What happens in the third generation? Do they get even stronger?
Oh, they definitely do. Third generation, they can tackle an even wider range of bacteria, but here's the thing.
What's that?
Some bacteria, they've gotten smart. They've developed this defense mechanism.
Oh no, what is it?
They produce these enzymes called beta-lactamases.
Beta-lactamases.
Yeah, and these enzymes, they actually break down antibiotics.
So it's like they have a shield.
Exactly, they've become resistant.
So what do we do? How do we fight back?
Well, that's where the third generation cephalosporins really shine.
How so?
They're designed to break through that shield.
Amazing.
They're often used for really serious infections like meningitis.
Meningitis, that's scary stuff.
It is. You need a powerful antibiotic to fight it.
So these third-generation cephalosporins, they're like the shield breakers.
I like that analogy.
What are some examples of third-generation cephalosporins?
Ceftriaxone and cefotaxime.
Okay. And what comes after that?
We're not done yet. Next up, fourth generation cephalosporins.
Even more powerful.
You bet. Even better at fighting those beta-lactamases, those shields we were talking about.
So they're like the ultimate shield breakers.
Pretty much. And you know where they're especially important? Where? Hospitals. For those hospital-acquired infections.
Oh, right. Those infections are often resistant to antibiotics.
Exactly. So the fourth generation is crucial in those settings.
Makes sense.
And one of the key players here is cefepime.
Cephalosporin.
Yep. It's effective against a wide range of gram-negative bacteria.
Okay.
But it's also better against some gram-positive bacteria than those earlier generations.
Wow, so like they learned a few new tricks?
Exactly. Very versatile, always adapting like we were talking about.
So what about the fifth generation? Where do they fit into all of this?
All right, fifth generation. These are the newest kids on the block.
The newest recruits.
Exactly. And they've got a very specific target.
What's that?
MRSA, methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus.
MRSA. Isn't that the superbug that's really hard to treat?
That's the one. It's a major problem, especially with skin and soft tissue infections.
So the fifth generation, they're the specialists.
You could say that. Cephalosporin is a prime example.
Cephalosporin. Got it.
It's really important in tackling those tough MRSA cases.
This whole generations concept is fascinating. So why does it matter? Why do we need to understand these different generations?
Well, it's all about choosing the right tool for the job.
Okay.
Think of it like this. First and second generation, they're your everyday workhorses.
The ones you call on for the common infection.
Exactly. Then, when things get a little more serious, you bring in the third generation.
For the tougher infections.
Yep. And for the really tough cases, the ones that are resistant to most other antibiotics.
You call in the fourth and fifth generation.
Exactly. The specialists.
I'm seeing a pattern here. It seems like as soon as bacteria develop resistance to one generation, scientists create a new generation to combat it.
That's exactly right. It's an ongoing arms race, a constant cycle of innovation.
It really highlights the importance of research in this field. We need to stay one step ahead.
Absolutely.
And it makes you wonder, what's next?
Yeah. What does the future hold for cephalosporins? Will there be a sixth generation?
Or even beyond. It's mind-blowing to think about.
And it underscores the importance of using antibiotics responsibly, right?
Oh, absolutely. Overuse can lead to more resistance, making these newer generations even more vital.
It's a delicate balance.
Well, this deep dive into the world of cephalosporins has been truly eye-opening. Thanks for joining us and breaking it all down.
My pleasure. It's been a fascinating discussion.
It's amazing to see how these medications have evolved to combat the ever-changing threat of bacterial infections. Thanks for joining us on this journey of discovery.
Thanks for having me.
And to our listeners, stay curious, stay informed, and until next time, keep exploring the fascinating world of science.
See you next time.
You've been listening to the Learning Podcast, a production of metaNESTA. Remember, learning is a journey. One step, one insight, one skill at a time. We'll see you next time. Keep learning, stay curious, and as always, be awesome.